This video was made possible thanks to my amazing patrons at patreon.com/magicalhacker. If you're not a patron and you would like me to make a video for you each month using your decks, become a patron today. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of GAVONY Township, the show where it's not about me and my decks, it is about you and your decks. This is episode number 60, looking at Jeff Mobley's deck. So Jeff Mobley is one of my patrons, and he has submitted a Keurig Son of Yawgmoth deck for this month as part of his perks there. If you're interested in looking at those perks as well, be sure to visit patreon.com/magicalhacker. We've got a Keurig Son of Yawgmoth deck here from Jeff Mobley. This is a pretty interesting deck, so let's just jump right into the deck doctor. So this is normally a 7 mana commander, however, 3 of that mana is in the form of Phyrexian black mana. So you can pay that either with 1 black mana or with 2 life. So if you wanted to, turn 4, you can get down Keurig Son of Yawgmoth if you pay 6 life. Now, that does sound like a lot, but this deck will try its very best to not have to worry about that. So this is a life-linking 2/2 that for each black in a cost, you may pay 2 life rather than pay that mana. And whenever you cast a black spell, put a +1/+1 counter on Keurig Son of Yawgmoth. So with the fact that Keurig has lifelink, we do have the advantage of being able to use our commander to gain back some life so that we can keep casting things that have lots of black in their mana cost. We can cast that with just paying life total. So the fact that we're starting off at 40 life in this format really allows this deck to go off. And I think that's going to be a huge part of why this deck is going to be good enough. However, the question becomes, how do you gain life? Obviously, you've got lifelink on your commander, but how do you guarantee that you'll get in? How do you guarantee that somebody won't just block and then sacrifice their creature, preventing you from gaining life? Do we even have other ways of gaining life? And I am super excited to be sharing with you some of those things. So let's go ahead and jump into the deck. Starting off, what I like to do is grabbing all the cards and putting them into one big stack. And the reason I like to do this is because from there, it's pretty easy to figure out what everything's for. So we've got Phyrexian Reclamation, that's definitely going to be for recursion. We've got Soul Ring, Demonic Tutor is, of course, a tutor. We've got Doomblade, which is definitely going to act as a spot removal spell. Heartless Summoning also counts as ramp. Sign in Blood, that's going to be card draw. Charcoal Diamond counts as ramp. Jet Medallion counts as ramp. We've got Whisper So Cloak. This one's pretty cool because we can use this to make sure our commander can't be blocked. So that is going to be pretty helpful there. Staff of the Death Magus allows you to gain 1 life per spell that you're casting. So rather than paying maybe 2, 3, 4 life, we get to reduce that by 1. Not bad at all. Bontu's Monument is also going to be ramped. Sorry, I put this into the wrong category. This has to go into a new category for life gain. Alright, Sudden Spoiling. This was a split-second card. Pretty interesting. Allows you to get rid of all the creatures from somebody. So seems pretty good. I don't know if it's going to be worth it in a deck like this, but let's just put that into a category all on its own for right now. Phyrexian Raider, that's some more card draw. We'll put that with Sign in Blood. Herald of Torment allows you to give +3/+3 in flying, so that's going to be another way to make our commander unblockable, mostly. It's not fully unblockable, but it's pretty close. We've got Force of Despair. This allows you to destroy a creature that enters the battlefield this turn. You have to exile a black card from your hand, but that doesn't seem too bad. We're going to put that with the spot removal here. We've got Whip of Erebos. That allows us to gain life as well. Actually does a lot of life gain for a deck like this. We've got Nightmare Shepherd. Allows you to get creatures. If they happen to die, you get to bring them back. This one's pretty good for protection, so we can protect our own creatures. Yeah, Whip of Erebos. It reminds me of another card. There's another card that whenever an opponent loses life. So in this situation, Keurig would not, being blocked be a problem. But it works with, it combos with Veto. It's that card called Exquisite Blood. So whenever an opponent loses life, you gain that much life. Now, if you're dealing damage to people from other ways, then, you can do actually a lot of really cool stuff with Exquisite Blood. Next we've got is Desecration Demon. So this one is, I'm kind of noticing already, we've got 3 demons so far. We might actually be seeing here Demon Tribal. And you know what? Now that I say that out loud, I remember specifically Jeff Mobley telling me this is my Demon Tribal deck. Well, now it makes sense. So we'll definitely put this all into a category of demons that are part of the Demon Tribe that is going to be in this deck. Now, it's also kind of interesting because I like doing this. This type of deck doctor where I'm seeing the deck as you're seeing it. I'm not getting any sneak peek at it. It's really interesting to me that I get to look at it and see it in real time. Damnation, that's going to be a board wipe. I don't have that yet, right? Yeah, I don't have that yet. Abyssal Persecutor. This is another demon. Very interesting. I wonder if yeah, there it is. Liliana's Contract. I mentioned that in my last episode of episode 59 of GAVONY Township, where I was working on Casey Sparks' Seer Gwyn deck. Tendrils of Corruption. This is another way that you can gain some life. It also allows you to deal a lot of damage to one person, so that is pretty cool. Erebos is going to be card draw. Not an amazing style of card draw in my opinion, but it's going to be card draw nonetheless. This is also some more card draw. It also functions as a way to allow us to gain life in a pinch. Crypt Gas also, does life gainy stuff, but we have to put that into the ramp section for now because of how good it is at ramp specifically. This is another tutor, an interesting one, to say the least. You get to keep casting keep casting it over and over for 4 mana, really for 3 mana because of Keurig. For 3 mana over and over, you can keep getting extra demons into your hand. So that is pretty nice in the tutor section. Where did I put tutors? There it is. I put the Force of Despair in the wrong pile. That's why I couldn't see it. Wretched Confluence. This allows you to draw cards, return creature cards from your graveyard to your hand, and I can also get rid of a creature. So it is nice for the card draw aspect, but I think for right now, we're just going to put it into the... well, no, let's put it into the card draw section. I think that's going to be more important. We do have Sanguine Bond, which makes me think that this is definitely going to have the Exquisite Blood in here at some point. So Sanguine Bond, let's make a new category for infinite combos. So we've got that available. Obnixilis, this allows you to create demons, so I'm going to put that with the demons, although it is technically not a demon in and of itself. I'm going to put it there anyways. Liliana's Contract is going to go into the ramp pile. We've got Indulgent Tormentor, which allows you to draw cards as well, but I'll put that with the demons for right now. It's not an amazing way to draw cards. Obviously, Great Merchant of Asphodel goes with the life gain stuff. We've got Demon of Wailing Agonies, another cool demon that we can add into this deck. Same thing with the Archfiend of Depravity. Not a bad one. I think normally when people think of a mono black demon tribal deck, they usually think of Obnixilis of the Black Oath at the helm. Yeah, Keurig, Son of Yawgmoth also makes a whole lot of sense because you're playing these humongous creatures, having a way to allow you to pay life to get them out there. Not only is it flavorful, it's actually pretty good for a deck like this. Magus of the Coffers is going to be good for ramp. We've got that Exquisite Blood. Very, very good. We're going to put that with the life gain stuff. Cage Sun counts for ramp. Reaper from the Abyss we've got as a demon. We've got Demon of Dark Schemes. This one's another good one. We can use that to get creatures out of graveyards as well. A lot of really cool demons in here. I really like this. Bolus of Citadel, kind of like ramp. It normally costs a lot, like 6 mana is a little bit higher than I want to pay for card draw. I feel like I want to have enough card draw at the bottom, and then after that, if I still want the Bolus of Citadel, then I'll play it. But it's only after I have enough of the ramp at 5 CMC or lower. Particularly, actually, 4 CMC or lower. I make one exception for one 5 CMC card per deck, but Bolus of Citadel, if I want it on top of my regular card draw, then then so be it. Yeah, I think in this situation it's going to be good because you're really doing kind of the same thing with Keurig anyways. So with Bolus of Citadel, you can gain some life as a result on top of that. We've got Sower of Discord. That's another cool demon that we've got in this deck. Obnixilis Unshackled. This is one of my favorite versions of Obnixilis. Maybe not my favorite demon. It might be though. I love that whole hurting people for tutoring. I really like that effect. So Obnixilis is going to be cool here. Demon Lord Belzenlock is going to get you a lot of cards. Phage the Untouchable. That's a pretty interesting one. You get it down, and maybe you got a way to make it unblockable and make somebody lose the game that way. Kind of a fun little card. I'm not sure where exactly to put it. I'm going to put it with a Sudden Spoiling for right now. We've got Lord of the Void. Okay, now this one, I think I found... Yeah, this is my favorite demon. It's hard for me to find one that I like more than this one. I mean, the art is cool, which obviously doesn't matter, but the ability itself is such a cool, fun ability. I love it. I absolutely love it. Runescar Demon, that one's a cool demon. It allows you to tutor as well. We've got Overseer of the Damned. More demons here. Of course, if you're playing demons, you're going to have a lot of demons. That's just how it works. You're playing a tribal deck. That's just how it works. Now, I'm not sure if you have seen at this point if my video will be out or not. But I did start a group of players who are interested in playing themed/restricted decks on Magic Online for Commander. So the first theme that we will be doing /have done, again, I don't know if the video has come out at this point, is going to be Tribal. So you might be able to see that either coming up soon, or you might have already seen it up on the channel where we played Tribal. Everybody had to play at least 20 cards of a specific creature type, and no more than 10 creatures of an alternative type. So anything other than demon or whatever creature type you choose. I think Jeff Mobley's deck would definitely fit for that type of restriction / challenge. So we will definitely see if he actually brings this deck to the table. Dread Cacodemon. That one's a pretty interesting one. Allows you to board wipe as well. Exsanguinate, that gives you some life. Let's put that with the life gain. Torment of Hailfire. It allows you to win the game, so I'm going to put that into this other pile for right now. Angarix makes another board wipe. We've got Rise of the Dark Realms for some more recursion. There's another demon here. We've got Archfiend of Depravity, I believe. Of Despair, rather. Okay, that's pretty cool. And then the Decree of Pain, that's another board wipe. Alright, so we've got a lot of stuff here. We've got 2 spot removal. I would like to see 2 more, potentially. We've got 9 ramp, which I think is good. 2 recursion, which is fine because I don't think we'll need a whole bunch of that. We've got 7 cards in our card draw section. I'll definitely look through all the demons to see if there's any other card draw options, because if there are, I want to move them into the right pile so I make sure I'm not adding in stuff unnecessarily. We've got 2 ways to make Keurig unblockable, and I think both of these are pretty good. I mean, obviously one of them is a demon, so it's going to be good in that way, like it's already part of the theme. So yeah, I feel pretty happy about that. We've got some life gain. Staff of the Death Magus is fine. It allows you to gain life, but I was thinking, you know, there's a card that's really obvious that would be really good in a deck like this, and that is Aetherflux Reservoir. Now, of course, when you're looking at decks, sometimes people want to have a more thematic deck. That said, though, I mean, there's a lot of things in here that are not necessarily on theme, and I think this one is such a good card in a deck like this that you really want to include it anyways. We're going to go ahead and move this over to this side. Okay. So, what else do we want to include here? Let me take a look here at the Sanguine Bond. This one, it allows you to make target opponent lose that much life. That's pretty cool. Alright, so what else? You know what? Actually, let's do this. We're going to put the Torment of Hailfire in that pile, because this is a pile all about making people lose the game. Phage the Untouchable. This one is interesting. I don't think this is actually going to work out pretty well here, because, yes, we can get it down, let's say the turn after we get down Keurig, for 3 mana. But it's not with our tribal deck. It's not part of that. And on top of that, with Phage, you have to have a way to make sure that it can get in. And that's not necessarily guaranteed in a deck like this. So I just feel like it's going to be a dead card in a lot of situations. Because you're going to have to wait until you get down Keurig on, let's say, turn 3. So turn 3, you get down Keurig. Turn 4, you get down Phage. I mean, by turn 4... maybe somebody doesn't have a creature out there. Oh, you're casting it. So on turn 5, you attack with it. Turn 5, I mean, by that point, yeah, everybody's got a creature out there. Probably. I mean, maybe it's not guaranteed, but it's almost guaranteed. And that way, I think that Phage is going to be kind of not great. And then Sudden Spoiling, I definitely understand why it's in this deck, because you can pay 4 life and 1 mana to make somebody lose all their abilities from their creatures. But I've never really seen this card as being like the difference between winning the game and losing the game. It just always feels like it kind of prevents you from losing for 1 turn. But it's not that great, you know. And you really want to have some things that can really seal the deal in a deck like this. So let's take a look what else we've got here. Nightmare Shepherd, Desecration Demon. I'm trying to see if there's anything else in here that counts for card draw or other things like that. This allows you to gain life, so that's also additional life gain. Indulgent Tormentor. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like card draw, but not enough here. Sacrifices a creature. We've got Archfiend of Depravity. That one's pretty cool, because it also acts like a board wipe. I'm going to move that into the board wipe section here, because I do think that counts. Reaper from the Abyss. That's kind of cool, but not exactly what we're looking for. I'm surprised we didn't see the Blood Gift Demon. That one definitely seems like, if you're going to be going for something that's a card draw section and something that's a demon, like that seems like a shoe-in. It is only 2 mana that you can get for it cheaper, but I think that's worth it. I mean, we can get that in, and that's not a problem at all. Let's see what else we got in here. Demon of Dark Schemes, I like. Sower of... what is this one? Let me see here. Sower of Discord. That one's pretty interesting. You can make 2 people lose more life from each other. Obnixilis Unshackled, I like. Demon Lord Belzenlock. That's also card draw. So I think we're okay on that end as well. But you know what? A little bit extra card draw is not too bad. Runescar Demon, that's another tutor. We've got Overseer of the Damned, allows you to produce some zombie tokens. Herald of Anguish makes each opponent discard a card. And you can also sacrifice artifacts. I don't think we're going to have a lot of artifacts in here to sacrifice, but the fact that we can make opponents discard a card each turn, or each end step, you know, I don't know if this is actually that helpful here. it's okay. Let's just leave it in there. I mean, it's better than other options like Abyssal Persecutor. You've got to get rid of that in order to win the game. That seems a little bit tough. That actually might be one card we want to drop here because we've already got our commander making everything else cheaper anyways. We don't need to have cheap demons. So maybe we're going to drop the Abyssal Persecutor. And you know, the more I think about it, we're already adding in Blood Gift Demon. I think that's going to be a good trade, one-for-one trade that we can just add that card in and basically just call it a day. All right, so what else we got after that? We can actually move this one over. So yeah, we're dropping these three, adding these two in. Let's see what else we've got here. Demon of Loathing. That one's kind of nice. You can make people sacrifice things. I do like that one. Abhorrent Overlord. This one's kind of nice. We do have to sacrifice a creature each turn. And that would be one way for us to get rid of the Abyssal Persecutor, but I don't think that's going to be happening often enough. We're going to have a lot of Devotion to Black in a deck like this, so I think that's going to produce a lot of tokens for us to really take advantage of. So let's take a look at what else we've got here. Reaver Demon allows you to... This is another board wipe, so we can put that into that. Well, we got enough here in this stack that I don't think we need to keep adding more things there. Village Broker of Blood, that's more card draw. Razaketh, that's more tutoring. Pestilence Demon. This is also kind of like a board wipe. We've got Dread Kako Demon. Another board wipe for us. Demon of Deathgate, just a big creature. And then here the Archfiend of Despair. Okay, so we've got a lot of things in here. I think in terms of card draw, we're actually doing okay. We've got a lot of things. I do find that I want to add in these two cards, and I want to drop these three. But I feel like there's probably other things I want to add in as well. We've got the Decree of Pain, which is always a great board wipe in my opinion. We've got Sanguine Bond, Torment of Hailfire. What else could we add in here that would be pretty good? You know what? Let me take a look to see if I can find if I can see if there's a demon, because of course we want to be able to tutor up demons. We've got things that do that specifically. Let me see if there's a demon that combos with Exquisite Blood. If we can find something like that, we could do a lot of really cool stuff. And you can see here I've got the stuff open from my previous episode. So let's take a look at demons that say something about life, and let's say about gain. If we're gaining life, this demon cares. So we've got Krav, we've got Archfiend of Despair. It doesn't really matter. So I think I was thinking of a vampire instead. We've got the Archfiend in there. Krav doesn't seem that great, honestly. So what else could we do? What else would be very, very helpful in a deck like this? We've got the Aetherflux Reservoir. We've got a lot of life gain, honestly. Do we want some more? I think, if we've got enough life gain, we can keep using Kyric's ability to ramp out some of our cards. And we do have a lot of card draw in a deck like this, so I feel pretty happy about that. I think, yeah, what we'll do here, I feel pretty happy about that. Let's just take a look to see if we can find some other effect to gain lots and lots of life. So let's go ahead and do that here. So we're going to say, I'm going to use a regular expression, gain, and let's just put in here, like, maybe 5 to, let's just do this, 2 to 9, and then we'll say life. So we'll do that, and we can actually say here, or X. So 2 to 9 or X, that sounds pretty good. Yeah, let's just take a look to see what we can find at, gain 2 to 9 life. And I want to make sure that I'm grabbing things legal in this format and legal in my my color identity. So let's take a look, see if we can find this a little bit better. All right, and you know what? I do want to find things that are permanents. I feel like that's going to be a huge help, because having something that's a instant that gets you a bunch of life doesn't really help here, and I have to spell things correctly for me to be able to search them up correctly. All right, so we've got 99 cards for us to look for. Now, let's take a look to see at what things require us to sacrifice them. Or maybe we'll find things that have ETB effects. So let's just say sacrifice or enter the battlefield. That sounds pretty good. We can get rid of those two. And you know what? There is something else I'd like to add to my this deck. I'd like to add in 2 more sources of spot removal. I think that actually will be pretty helpful. So before I was looking for things that could do us some more life gain, I think instead what I'd prefer to do is actually go for more spot removal instead. So, is there anything else I'd like to drop from this deck? Sign in Blood I like, because we can cast it for free. That seems pretty cool. Erebos, we've got enough card draw in this deck that I think the Erebos we don't need. And opponents gaining life or not, doesn't seem that helpful or that necessary to turn off. And the drawing cards is not that great here. It is 1 mana to pay 2 life and draw a card, but at that point, why not, or actually pay 1 mana, pay 4 life. At that point, why not play Greed, where it's 1 black mana, pay 2 life. So instead, you just be paying 4 mana to draw 1 card. Very expensive. I won't lie to you. I think that's a very expensive effect, but still that's better than Erebos. So let me take a look and see if there's anything else I can find that would be actually good for spot removal. And I've got a list for that. So let's go ahead and go to that list. Go down to the list for spot removal. Where is this one? Targeted answers right there at the top. So we can look at mono black and see if there's any free cards that will be pretty good for us. Because again, there's a lot of effects that are okay but not amazing at instant speed. We're going to be looking for things that are black and things specifically that are not gold. And there's a lot of things in here that are black. So we've got artifacts or creature. These are multicolored though. We've got creatures in a life gain based deck. I don't think that's going to be very helpful. We've got mono black. This is Scent of Nightshade. Target creature gets -X until end of turn, where X is the number of cards revealed this way. So it is kind of cool. We can get rid of smaller creatures. You know what I'd like to see is like the free cards, and I know there's a few. We're looking for creatures in general, so not specific to a creatures or enchantment. Creatures tribal. Here it is, creatures. So we're looking for things that are free. Obviously, we've got Deadly Rollick. We do not have our commander out there, but I think that's going to be pretty easy to do with that. So Deadly Rollick, I absolutely like. Snuff Out, also pretty easy to do. I think those are the two I'd like to add in. I mean, everything else is going to cost... Actually, Drag to the Underworld is also free if we've got our commander out there. That's not bad. That is not bad. I'm actually going to close these tabs to try to save on my CPU to prevent my my computer from not wanting to do what it needs to do. So let me take a look here. Rend Flesh, that's not going to be as good. Unmake, not as good. I do like the Drag to the Underworld. That one actually might be the one we go for, because if we've got our commander out there, we've got 3 Devotion to black, and we get to pay 4 life just to cast out a Drag to the Underworld for free. Although paying 4 life, do we actually want to do that compared to... well, actually, here, Snuff Out is also paying 4 life. I think Deadly Rollick, though, we're not paying for the 4 life. We have to have our commander out there. Same thing with the Drag to the Underworld. Yeah, so I think of these 3, Drag to the Underworld is the worst, because you have to both have your commander out, which is what Deadly Rollick needs, and you have to pay 4 life, which is what Snuff Out needs. So you actually have to combine those 2 together to get that card out there. What else do we have, though? That's another important question. Because, I mean, there might be another one out here where it's just pay 4 life. Because in that situation, it might just be better... Well, maybe not, actually. Let's just see if there's anything else out there that's going to be important to look at. Victim of the Night, kind of the same idea. Heartless Act is the same idea. Same thing with Go for the Throat. Devour in Shadows, same idea. Slaughter Pact is actually free, but then you have to pay 3 mana for that. We can use Defile, so we pay 2 life to give target creature -1/-1 until end of turn for each swamp you control. And we're going to have a lot of swamps in this deck. I mean, we've already got here in the deck off the side here, we've got this plus however many I'm missing. So we've got 1 plus 1. We've got 25 swamps in this deck. That is certainly a lot of swamps. Actually, we've got Witch's Cottage in there as well. We've got Urborg. Yeah, we've got a lot of swamps in this deck. So I don't think that's going to be a big problem, the number of swamps. So you know what? Now that I think about it, I think Defile could actually be kind of nice, because we pay just 2 life, but we have to have the commander out there. I think I'd rather just have the 1 card for that, and then the other card for... the 1 card for... So, sorry, this is Deadly Rollick. That one I think is going to be good for when we have our commander out there. If we don't need to have our commander out there, Snuff Out is also good there too. So we can add this card in, and then Snuff Out, we can add that one in. Now, I'm seeing some skipped frames, so I did try a change since my last video to try to avoid those frames, you know, going a little haywire. But let me see if that's it. I think that's going to be it. I would love to find a spot for Oubliette in a deck like this, but I'm not exactly sure what to drop here. Are there any demons that are just not that great in a deck like this? This one's fantastic, actually. This is a 6/6 flying for 4 mana or for 5 mana. Really, it's for 3 mana because of our commander. This is tough. We can do this and get that one down a little bit earlier on, but I don't think we will. I think we'll just be hard casting it for 6 mana. Flying and Trample. Yeah, I think that's fine. Destroy all creatures your opponents control, then tap all other creatures you control. Pestilence Demon, also not bad. Razaketh the Foul-Blooded. Villa's Broker of Blood. Yeah, a lot of these destroy all non-artifact, non-black creatures. Yeah, so we won't be able to actually use this as a board wipe. it won't be as easy for us to use. I think we've got enough board wipes that we can actually take out the, well, I think we do want the in Garrick's Wake. Damnations is nice because it's cheap. It's like low CMC. So I think that's important. Create a bunch of Harpies. I mean, that is pretty nice. That one allows us to do some cool stuff there too. This one, you know, I was kind of worried about this because at the end of the day, the reduction that you're getting is 5 mana. We do not have a ton of artifacts in this deck. We've got like less than 10 from what it looks like, in my opinion. So when we've got the Herald of Anguish in our hand, if we use Keurig, we pay 4 life and 5 mana for a 5/5 flying. And all it does is it makes each opponent... Well, I mean, like, everybody discarding a card is kind of nice. I have to admit, that is kind of nice. What else we got here? Demon... That's good, too. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things in here that it's good. I mean, I really like everything. All the demons in here, it seemed pretty nice. Destroy target non-demon creature. That could make us destroy one of our own creatures, but I don't think that's going to be a problem. Draw a card unless somebody does something. Yeah, this one's pretty nice. We have to sacrifice a creature for a Demon of Catastrophes. Now, this one definitely seems like a problem. If we've got a creature that we want to sacrifice, first of all, where did we get that creature from? I mean, we have 1 token maker, I think. No, we have 2 token makers. We've got 2 token makers, and then after that, that's pretty much it. So you know what? Let's just drop the Demon of Catastrophes. I think I'm adding in 1 demon, taking out 2. So let me just take a look at this one. So we are dropping Abyssal Persecutor and Demon of Catastrophes. We are adding in the Blood Gift Demon. So yeah, we are dropping 2 demons, adding in 1. But I think that would be nice for us to be able to add in Oubliette, because Oubliette is going to be an important card for us to be able to get rid of opponents' things, or opponents' commanders, rather, when we absolutely need to. So yeah, not a whole lot of changes here. I guess that goes to show you how much I think this deck is really set up very well. I think Jeff Mobley did a great job here with this deck. Sometimes I won't say that other people are not doing a great job, because a lot of times when you build a deck, you don't go through the whole process of fine-tuning it if you know that you can just send it into a deck doctor and then get a little bit of insight from that point on and then, you know, do what you need to do. So I don't blame other people for giving me decks that, you know, sometimes they need like 30 changes. That's not a problem at all. And I'm not saying that they're bad deck builders or anything. That's not what I'm saying at all. Yeah, Jeff Mobley here submitted a deck that really I don't see a whole lot of changes that I personally would make. I think this is very, very close to exactly what I would do. I'm looking at this Wretched Confluence now, though. That does count as spot removal. I guess we could probably drop one of our spot removal things and add in another demon. Yeah, let's do that, actually. Let's do that. So we're adding in Deadly Rollick and Snuff Out. I do like Snuff Out because it doesn't care about having Commander out there. But it does only get rid of non-black creatures. So sometimes there's just going to be a creature that we actually want to get rid of and it will not be possible. So I'm going to drop the Snuff Out as one of my suggestions. And I'm going to add in another demon. Because if we did take out 2, I'd like to replace it with another demon. But I'm not sure exactly what demon I want to suggest. So let's go ahead and see what demons there are in the format. And then, of course, I'm going to go ahead and search it by, you know, which ones are legal in a mono-black EDH deck. That's going to be an important part of this, so we will definitely not forget to do that. And, yeah, this previous search here was all about looking for things that could allow us to gain more life. So let's go ahead and do this. We're going to say a demon, and we're going to look for things that are in mono-black. And I'm seeing a couple of cards here down at the bottom. But we want to make sure that we're getting things that are good. Sacrifice a creature. Other than that, yeah, that's not going to be a good one. I think Treacherous Pit Dweller is also pretty interesting, but not good in here. Put a -1/-1 counter on target creature you control. Well, with our commander, that might not be too big of a problem. And this has lifelink, so that one seems pretty nice. I do kind of like this one, I'll be honest. I think this one is kind of nice. This one gets pretty small by opponents casting things and making it smaller. I do like this Crocodile Demon. That one I like. The Baleful Amit. No, what's this one do? A +1/+1 counter for each different mana cost among non-land cards in your graveyard. We're not going to have a lot of cards in our graveyard anyways, so I don't know if this is actually worth it. It's only like a Flying Death Touch. I mean, it is nice because it comes out for 1 mana, but yeah, not that amazing. Let me see what else we've got here. Soul Cage Fiend. We've got the Desecration Demon. We've got that one in the deck already. Put the top 4 cards of your library into your graveyard. You lose 4 life unless there are 4 more card types. Yeah, that's not that great here. Nightmare Shepherd we got. That one's always good. We have to control ogres, otherwise we lose life from that one. That one's not great. Spawn of Mayhem. Beginning of your upkeep, it deals 1 damage to each player. Then, if you have 10 or less life, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Yeah, that doesn't seem that great, honestly. We have the Archfiend of Depravity in there. Archfiend of Ifnir. This one's pretty interesting. We can cycle it away if we need to draw something. Nah, it doesn't seem that great, honestly. I mean, if we had more ways to discard, but we don't. I don't think that's going to be very helpful for us here. What else we got? We got Obnixilis. That can be pretty big. You know what? Now that I look at the Baleful Image, I want to see if like there's other things that can have lifelink. Because obviously the disadvantage here. Oops, gotta put the right type of search. So the advantage here from having a lifelinking demon is it allows us to do other things. Now this one's banned in Commander. This one's a land. I believe we have the Westvale Abbey in the deck, right? We should. Yeah, there it is. We have Westvale Abbey already in the deck. Soulflare. This one's an interesting one. We can also delve things away. So, well, it doesn't actually have lifelink on its own. We would have to just get rid of some of the graveyards, or some of the demons that already died. And, I mean, I'll be honest, a lot of the demons have kind of the same abilities over and over. They don't really have a combination of things. So, yeah, I'm going to suggest the Baleful Image. It is kind of weird. It's a 3-mana lifelinking, non-flying demon, but that lifelink certainly does matter. You can attack somebody who can't really block it and kill it, and you can put the -1 counter on your commander because you'll be casting enough black things that you can gain life afterwards, no problem. So yeah, I do like Baleful Image here. I think that should be pretty nice. Actually, the way it works is you're going to cast something, it's going to get a counter, it'll enter, you get rid of the counter. So you'll never actually have the -1 counter on your commander. So I do like that one. Baleful Image seems pretty good in this deck. So let's go ahead and add that one here. Baleful Image. I believe we don't have that one in the deck yet, right? It will show up if we already have it in here. Yeah, we don't actually have it in the deck already, so let's just go ahead and reduce our quantity to 0, because I don't actually have it in my collection, but I do think it would actually be pretty nice here. So we've got Deadly Rollick and Oubliette for some extra spot removal. We've got Baleful Amit and Blood Gift Demon as additional demons, and card draw with the Blood Gift Demon, and Lifelink with the Baleful Amit. And then lastly, we've got the Aetherflux Reservoir for additional life gain. This can actually do some really, really crazy stuff. If you can cast a bunch of cards all in this, even if you're not, right, you're casting just 1 black spell each turn, that's literally just as good as the Staff of the Death Magus, which you've already got in the deck. Now, this one does care about swamps entering too, but I mean, you really, with this much this much mana getting lost from, or you know, this much mana being reduced from our cards, I really don't see that the Aetherflux Reservoir is going to be stuck gaining us very low amounts of life. We're going to be getting to the point, especially with the Bolas' Citadel, where we can just gain a ton of life with an Aetherflux Reservoir. So I think it's worth including that one in here just for that additional benefit. Although now that I'm thinking about it, do we want to include that card, what's that card called? Sensei's Divining Top in this deck? Because with the Sensei's Divining Top, we can get to a loop with Aetherflux Reservoir and Bolas' Citadel. We pay 1 life, cast it for 1 life. So we pay 1 life to cast it. It comes onto the battlefield. We tap it to draw a card, put it on top, and then we gain 1 life from the Aetherflux Reservoir. We do that over and over and keep getting additional life off of our Aetherflux Reservoir. We draw additional cards on top of that. Yeah, that does sound pretty good. But, you know, I was kind of thinking about it. I think actually we'll be okay. We'll have everything out here just the way it is, and I think we'll be just fine. All right, so we'll keep the Aetherflux Reservoir here. I don't think we'll add in the Sensei's Divining Top because that's just 1 card. It's not going to be good. Well, I mean, it is kind of okay on its own. Yeah, it is kind of okay. Maybe we do want to add that one in, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. I was thinking that maybe we didn't want to, but now that I have pondered about it, I think we actually do want to add that in. And the only card I'd like to drop here is the Baleful Amit. That was the demon I was saying to add in, but maybe the better idea is to add in Sensei's Divining Top. We can add that one in, and then that one would allow us to do a lot of cool stuff. Also, I don't think this would ever happen, but imagine having the Phage, the Untouchable, on top of the deck with Bolas' Citadel. You can make yourself lose life by choosing to cast it then. Because if you cast it from somewhere else other than your hand, it also makes you lose the game. But yeah, let's just go ahead and add in the Sensei's Divining Top. I think that's going to work out pretty well with the Bolas' Citadel. And even if it doesn't, I mean, that combined with the Aetherflux Reservoir could also be pretty nice. You can basically sometimes even cast it for free. Obviously, Bolas' Citadel. Do we have another thing here that does that too? I thought we did, but I guess not. Yeah, this is only for black spells, and that's the same thing with that one. Well, anyways, we do have lots of ways that we can cast that one, and then keep casting it over and over. So, yeah, I think this sounds pretty good. You know, I'm looking at that Force of Despair, And if I were building this deck, I'd probably drop this one for the snuff out. But I'm gonna leave this one in here because I think that's fine. It's not horrible. I think that's definitely worth including here. So thank you so much for joining me for this Deck Doctor episode for Jeff Mobley's Keurig, Son of Yawgmoth, the tribal deck here with demons. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. I had a lot of fun doing it myself, and I will see you guys next time. Stay awesome, everybody.